as well as our sourcing team that's with us that we'll hear from later. They're carrying flags from all over the world. I bet nobody here can guess all the flags that we have, right? It's amazing where we reach, the diversity and depth of our global botanical network and our sourcing efforts reach everywhere. Clearly, we are touching nearly every part of the globe in our sourcing work to bring you the best essential oils in the world. I'd love to spend the next hour or 2 or 3 interviewing each of these amazing partners and growers and employees, and you can find that in each case there are amazing things happening to bless lives as we source the most amazing oils on the planet. I want to introduce just a couple of these partners to you that you haven't heard from before, all right? So let me first of all have Ashik come forward. Where's Ashik? Ashik, come on forward. Here's Ashik. Hi. Ashik, tell us where you're from and what you do at dōTERRA.
Okay. I'm from Turkey, where my family and I own and operate a distilling operation partnered with dōTERRA. We work with many small farmers around Turkey and then operate our distillery to produce amazing oils like oregano and laurel leaf for you.
That's great, thank you. You know, Turkey's an amazing country, and we're very grateful that you're with us today. I understand this is your first time attending convention?
Yes, it is.
Great. So tell us how long you've been working with dōTERRA and how that came about.
I first met with Tim and Sean at a conference exactly 2 years ago, and we have been working closely together ever since then. We have had to scale up our operations in Turkey to as fast as we can to produce a lot of oil to keep up with dōTERRA's growth, which is not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
And we are passionate about what we do, which makes it all easier, of course, but we love working with dōTERRA's sourcing team.
And Ashik, we love working with you. And please tell your family how grateful we are for them and all that they do. We know that we get almost 100% of their oil production.
Yes.
And they're growing quickly with us. They support about 300 small farmers throughout Turkey. And it's amazing, right? It's amazing. Someday we'll tell you the story of oregano and how Ashik and his family take all the good stuff out of oregano before it ends up in your spices that you all buy, right? So
hopefully very soon.
Yeah. So just remember, if you want the real oregano stuff, it comes with dōTERRA, right? Anyway.
Exactly. Yes.
So thanks, Ashik.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you with us. Yeah. It's great. Turkey's a place we need to talk about more in the future. Let me tell you another place, another person we need to talk about more. Let's have Yash come forward. Yash? Okay, welcome, Yash. So Yash, tell us where you're from and what you're doing here with dōTERRA.
Thank you very much, Colin. I'm from a little country called India.
India, very small country.
Very, very small. I'm a proud 4th generation in a long-standing family business. I'm here with my wife and our daughter.
Wow, wonderful.
Our distillery operation helps to produce your new turmeric oil that is
Wow.
spearmint and other essential oils that are farmed and distilled in India.
Wow, that's great. It's amazing to be 4th generation in your family business. You know, your parents must be, your grandparents that started this business many years ago, must be very proud. You know, we very much value your family's extensive experience and artful mastery and what you do in producing the finest essential oils for us. So thank you very much, Ash.
Thank you, Colin. I'm very honored to be here and work with a partner like dōTERRA.
Now, tell us
what has been the most rewarding for us has been working for the past few years through some co-impact sourcing initiatives, which have been truly able to help us work with many farmers and their communities and bring them out of poverty.
Wow.
We have been able to do this with guiding them with better planting crops, better managing their farms, and most importantly, having a guaranteed buyer like dōTERRA who truly cares about them, which makes all the difference.
Wow. Thank you, Jake. Thank you for all that you and your family are doing to help change lives in rural India. We need to tell that story more in the future, all right?
Certainly do.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. And then we have Ashik and Yas, and we have many others. We have many old friends here that we'll never forget, right? A few years ago we had Plamen, where's Plamen, and Ivan and Cici from Bulgaria, right? They run our esoteric facility. Which brings us amazing lavender, Melissa. We do a lot of frankincense work, which we'll talk about. So they're amazing. Thanks for all you do in Bulgaria and continue to do in that great part of the world. I also wanted you to quickly meet Jean-Marie and Elisa from Guatemala. Jean-Marie, come forward, Elisa. Now, these folks produce our amazing cardamom oil and also the new pink pepper, which come from Peru and then distilled in Guatemala. And, you know, Emily talked on Thursday about the devastation of the earthquake there. And Mark also talked about how we've been responding to help from that terrible volcano eruption, which is just so near the facility there. So, Elisa, let me just ask you a few questions if I can. Is that okay? So, as you witnessed the devastation of the volcano that was in Guatemala, that came within just a few feet of your distillation facility, tell me, what did it mean to you to know you had a partner like dōTERRA?
Honestly, our first thoughts were for our distillery workers and their families, for their safety and their well-being. And so many of our employees had their homes directly into the path of the volcanic flow, so we were so worried about that. And then we faced all the troubles they've been having on rebuilding their lives. So we immediately think of dōTERRA because, you know, dōTERRA is a company with such a great heart, and they've been always been supportive with us by rebuilding communities, and they provided so many times for us. And so we're so thankful to partner with dōTERRA, and we're really thankful on the bottom of my heart for all the help from you and all the caring and love you've been giving to one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa. You know, we love Guatemala, and Jean-Marie and Elisa are amazing, and you're just tremendous partners. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Corey.
You know, we could discuss all of this amazing global network. It's remarkable. We're literally tens of thousands of farmers around the world who produce our oils. You know, we've created and support nearly, as has been mentioned, nearly 100,000 jobs through our sourcing efforts, focused on the areas of the world where these plants grow best, and working with farmers and distillers with a focus on our support for small-scale farmers. And these jobs have supported nearly 500,000 people when you take into account the children, the grandparents, and everyone in the families. So thank you so much for being here today to share with dōTERRA. Together we're really changing the world. So can everyone please give a warm send-off to these growers? united with them in helping the world. I asked our sourcing team to remain behind, as I'd like to talk with some of them about the work they're doing in the far-flung reaches of the globe. So here's our sourcing team. Can you give a hand to our amazing employees? So wait a minute. We have Vishnu here. Vishnu, come here. What are you doing?
Hey, Corey, thank you for inviting us to come to dōTERRA to work in the sourcing team.
Well, dōTERRA, these are our employees, Vishnu. You've been a consultant. Those of you who don't know, this is Vishnu Adhikari. Vishnu was introduced a few years ago. He's from Nepal, and he's truly one of the world's great global humanitarians. He's done some amazing things in his career. He grew up in a tiny village in the highlands of Nepal, but he worked very hard to get where he is today. He earned degrees in engineering, international environmental policy, and now spends his life to help alleviate poverty in his homeland in Nepal, as well as around the world. We've worked with Vishnu, consulted with him extensively as we established our co-impact sourcing initiatives in Nepal for wintergreen, and then responding to the 2015 earthquake in Nepal. Most recently, Vishnu has been working for USAID to continue helping with the rebuilding of Nepal. So, Vishnu, why are you with this employee group? What's going on?
I have an exciting news to share with you all. The news is I have taken an assignment, a responsibility to be part of the co-impact sourcing team in dōTERRA. And my family and I took a 28 hours long trip last night to be with you this afternoon.
Yeah. Part of our team. As I said, I can't think of a global humanitarian that's more impactful than Vishnu. So Vishnu, you worked for USAID for many years, right? For the last 3 years. So why would you quit that job and choose to come work with dōTERRA? Now, I'm going to tell you, we recruited him hard 2 or 3 years ago, right? And Vishnu said, no, I'm going to go work for USAID. We said, well, we want to remain friends. So why is now the right time to make this jump?
I always loved grassroots level work. I loved people. I wanted to be part of their lives and the change that can be brought into their lives, eliminating the extreme poverty. I have worked with the governments and been impatient with their slow process. And at the same time, I have a great experience of working with dōTERRA after the 2015 devastating earthquake in Nepal. When dōTERRA came and we worked together to respond and been able to help many families when mostly 700,000 and more families lost their living quarters. So with dōTERRA's assistance, we've been able to assist some of those families, and more than 800,000 schools were devastated, 3 million children without classrooms. The first action on the ground, dōTERRA came to help us. So I'm so excited to carry out this work beyond Nepal now.
Well, we appreciate the work of the many governments around the world, but I can tell you, Vishnu finally realized we get there faster, we get there quicker, and we do more good, right?
Thanks. Very good. Thanks.
Thank you. We're honored that Vishnu has joined with us, and we know that he can do even more work now. Continue everything we're doing in Nepal, and now expand it around the world even more.